With Nintendo going their own way, Sony sort of going their own way, and Xbox going their own way, there's a few problems that could develop here. We're in a situation where the console wars are starting to sound like they might actually be over. If that's the truth though, I think that there is a little bit of a cause for concern, and I'm going to tell you why. Welcome to my notebook. Let's take a look.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Thanks.
When you look at PlayStation are happy to just sort of keep cruising on, buy a console, get some games for it, get great exclusives, but of course, staying there and, leaning on the status quo is going to potentially bring them problems down the line. This brings me to Xbox. There's a lot of criticisms going around because the Xbox is moving away potentially from where it is with hardware. They're moving more to game services, to having their games available on all platforms. This is a very good thing because they're thinking so much about the future, but it's also at the expense of the present. And as a result, that maybe started all the way back with the launch of the Xbox One has put them on the back foot so badly that PlayStation have absolutely thumped them this past generation or two, which means that they've had to completely pivot because what they're doing just wasn't working anymore. Let's look at Nintendo, who have just released the Switch 2. They seem pretty happy with where they're going. They've got their higher prices, they've got their more expensive hardware, but they're happy with what they're doing. The thing is that Nintendo is now where they've been before. They don't really see anyone else as direct competition. So this brings me to where I have some concerns. I see problems coming for almost each one of these that combined are going to make a problem for you and me. The less that these companies are feeling direct competition from each other, the less reason they have to innovate, because they're not fighting that hard fight against that other company that's trying to take them down. On top of this being a situation that could affect gamers negatively, it could also affect the industry negatively, which isn't good in the long run for anyone either. With each of these going in a different direction, we also have potential for a bigger loser because there's bigger risks for each one. Each one is going into their own different direction, and if one of those directions pans out way better than the others, the other one or two could land themselves up in very serious trouble. If Microsoft is leading the charge towards the way that they look at the future and the way that they're looking at cloud gaming and Play Anywhere and all of these services, maybe they hit the nail on the head in terms of what is going to be needed in future, and they're going to hit it so hard that PlayStation almost goes under before they know it. We've seen giants fall before. It's not unheard of. Let's say that things go forward with PlayStation and that traditional sort of console way of doing things ultimately becomes what gamers refuse to move away from. Then you've got something like Xbox also tanking very badly and, having Microsoft completely shut that side of things down. We like to think that Nintendo's always going to be fine. Things can go awfully bad awfully quick.
$599 US.
I'd be sad if we don't see Xbox hardware again. We have people like Laura Fryer from the old Xbox team busy talking about how she thinks that, Microsoft is undoing all the good that they did when they originally put together what made Xbox so unique. She was also saying that she thinks that Xbox is moving away from hardware and might not even be able to deliver hardware going forward the way that they're approaching things. Now, Phil Spencer has said before that he believes that, box is in the name. It should continue and that they're going to keep going on. Microsoft has also just revealed that they've signed new partnerships with AMD for the future of their hardware and so on. Microsoft changes their minds. We know that. So you also can't kind of feel incredibly confident in what they say because you never know what they're going to do next. They really need to build that trust back with people. And either way, they're going to need to really nail down what they're doing with the Xbox Play Anywhere stuff or just the Play Anywhere stuff in general. PlayStation, if you look at what Microsoft is doing with their online services and the way that they see the future, PlayStation could seriously be left behind. Nintendo, on the other hand, not innovating as much as they should have or could have been. They're playing it safe. They're iterating. They're not innovating. And we're seeing that now more than ever with the Switch becoming nothing but the Switch 2. We're potentially heading towards this one console future that many people often prophesized.
Listen, I gave.
I'm actually a bit more concerned because we look like there's just as much of an equal chance that we're going to a no console future. We just don't know what's going to be around in the next 10 years. We have these amazing chipsets that are going into MacBook Pros and going into handhelds that are so powerful. We had no idea just a few years ago just how much of a profound effect AI was going to have on everything. It makes you realize that 5 years from now, even 10 years from now, there might be new technologies, new batteries, new forms of things like AI that are just taking things to places we just can't foresee. we don't know who's gonna get it right. Either way, I think the point is that there's a lot of talk going on right now about where things could be. I think the hot take here is nobody knows, because we just don't know where things are going to go. I mean, it's fun to talk about these things, but at the end of the day, we have no idea. Even the best analysts, the people who are looking into these things, and the guys online that you follow and that you read about that have the most accurate takes, still won't be able to really know where things are going to go, because despite the plans and despite the strategies, we just have no idea where things are headed anymore, and that is the truth. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to let me know. I'll see you soon.